Hey y'all, welcome to DDTS Wrestling Series, episode 7. I'm back with another video for y'all today. Thank y'all for joining me. Today is a wrestling episode. Today is a wrestling review, WWE edition. Yes, indeed. I'm back with another wrestling podcast review for y'all today. Thank y'all for joining me. I hope y'all are doing a wonderful. Hope y'all are doing wonderful, and I hope y'all are having a wonderful day. Happy Sunday. Happy August the 2nd, 2026. And happy August to everyone. I pray August is a great month for you all. Joy, happiness, love, and everything. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'm so excited to do this episode for y'all today. So today is going to be a DDTS Wrestling Series episode, and it is going to be WWE SummerSlam Night 1 review. Now, before I go ahead and get started, if you have not yet, hit that like button, subscribe button, and the notification bell so you can get notified when I have new videos available. I know it's been a minute since I've done some wrestling podcast episodes. It's just been a lot going on, but I said, you know what? Let's go and get this episode out and let's go on and get it done. Let's get productive and everything. And I want to thank y'all for just choosing to watch this episode, because if you're a wrestling fan like I am, I love wrestling. I've been loving it for decades and decades and decades, and that's not gonna stop. So yeah. So today we're gonna be talking about SummerSlam Night 1 review, because I was able to watch SummerSlam Night 1. But let me go ahead and tell y'all something. I was debating if I wanted to watch SummerSlam or not, because I usually watch it every year. I was very back and forth and very apprehensive if I wanted to watch it or not. And I'm like, do I want to watch it or not? And I said, you know what? I don't have nothing better to do. I'm quite curious to see who's going to win these matches. And another reason that I want to watch SummerSlam is because of Nick Adidas and Gutler. Nick Adidas, who is the general manager of SmackDown. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. And Gutler, who is a superstar on SmackDown as well. So yeah, I wanted to do this podcast and I wanted to watch SummerSlam Part 1. Now, all of the pictures I might not have, but I will have a picture of the matches that went on. Some pictures I might have, some pictures I might not, because some of them I couldn't find. So I'm going to give y'all my honest opinion on what I thought about these matches, and I'm going to give y'all my honest thoughts on, how SummerSlam was, Night 1 was, because Part 2 is today. And I'm so excited to hear that. So, you know, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, it's been a while since I've done DDTS Wrestling Podcast episodes, so I might be a little rusty. I might be a little missing a couple of things, but hey, we're going to get it done. So, let's get into it. Okay, y'all. So this is the card for SummerSlam Night 1, which was last night. You have Liv Morgan versus Io Sky. You have CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE title match. Liv Morgan versus Io Sky for the Women's World title match. Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi, Hell in a Cell match. Um, Gutler versus Nick Aladdis, I think that's his name. And you got the Bellas and Paige versus the Fatal Influences. It was a 6-woman tag team match. And you had the Bloodline versus Solo and LA Knight and Royce. And that was a 6-person tag team match. So yeah, we finna go ahead and get into these matches. Now, I don't have all of the pictures of the matches because I was not able to find them all. But hey, I think this is good enough. Some I was able to find, some I was not. But let's go ahead and get into this first match. Now, the first match that I saw, because I missed this first match, let's get in. Let's get in between. Let's get into this match right here. Let's get in between Liv Morgan versus Io Sky. I'm just going to give my honest opinion because I did not watch the match, but I was able to see some of the highlights of who won the match, which was Liv Morgan. And I just want to give my thoughts on that. And also, I have a picture that I would like to share containing Liv Morgan and the post she made being women's champion. So this was last night at SummerSlam Night 1. As a matter of fact, y'all, I'm a big wrestling fan. I bet you can tell. Um, this is Liv Morgan at the bottom. This is Io Sky at the top. So truthfully and allegedly, you see that Liv Morgan retained her title at SummerSlam, which she has held it for 100 days or over. I'm gonna give my honest opinion and I'm gonna give my perspective on this whole scenario and this whole thing. Now, Io Sky, who I've watched a lot of, she is very talented. She is very full of spice, full of great moves, full of great competition. And Io Sky is what's best for the women's division. Because not only that, she is a high flyer. She has so much motivation and inspiration, to a lot of peoples with her descent, like Oscar and so many other Carly Sane and so many others. But Liv Morgan, she wants to call herself iconic for holding the title 100 days. Well, I disagree. And because I disagree, I'm finna give you a reason in my opinion why I disagree with Liv Morgan. So next I'm finna show y'all the post that I got, what Liv Morgan said on her holding the WWE World Women's Champion for 100 days. Okay, stay tuned. Hey y'all, I'm back. Welcome back to part 2 of DDTS Wrestling series. This is a SummerSlam Part 1 review, August the 2nd, 2026. This is August the 1st, 2026 SummerSlam Part 1 review from last night. And I was talking about Liv Morgan, but I wanted to go ahead and put this part 2 into this because I was running out of time on my timer. Hold on, y'all. Okay, y'all, I'm back. So, I had to make a new video for this part 2 because I was running out of time on the timer and I wanted to make sure I got everything. But before I ended it on part 1, I was talking about that I was going to show y'all what Liv Morgan was saying about her 100 day as champion. And this is it, the Wrestling Classic. This was shared to me by a family member. Thank you so much, because I'm a big wrestling fan. I do wrestling podcasts and all that. So this is what Liv Morgan said. As you can see behind me, she said, my 100 day as champion, 0 days defending because I'm that iconic. You don't need to defend shit. Liv Morgan via CJ Prairie IG. Now, if y'all don't know who CJ Prairie is, CJ Prairie was Lana in the WWE, and she was the on-screen wife and the off-screen wife of Rusev. And if you don't know who Rusev is, if you don't know who Lana is, CJ Perry is, I recommend you go to Google and Google them. But let's get back to Liv Morgan's comment on, because she's a 100-day champion and she did not defend that title ever since she won it at WrestleMania. She won this title at WrestleMania against Stephanie Vacara. Now, I watched WrestleMania Part 1 and 2, and I watched this match. And honestly and truly, yes, she won the title. But let's be honest, Liv Morgan is not iconic. And this is not no Liv Morgan hate. This is some Liv Morgan truth that a lot of you need to understand. Because I'm a type of person that's going to give my honest opinion. I'm the type of person that's going to give my thoughts and my comments and how I really see it. But since I'm a true wrestling fan and I'm a person that tells it like it T.I. is, let me go ahead and tell y'all something. Liv Morgan is not iconic. Because if you are a champion and you call yourself iconic, iconic champions defend their titles. Iconic champions and peoples ain't afraid to take bumps. Iconic champions and peoples aren't afraid to sell the moves that is done against them, or they do the moves too. And as being a champion, period, you must defend that title. You must be a person to prove yourself and to prove to everybody that you are a champion and you must defend your title. You want to prove to everybody and you want to say you iconic and you this and you that, I'm better than any champion, this and that and the third, in the past, present, and future. Part of being in the WWE and part of being in that company, you have to defend that title. You got to prove yourself that you is the person that you say you is. Not a tweet, not a post, not a DM, not nothing is going to change the fact that you're iconic, because you're not. Iconic peoples aren't afraid to put their titles on the line. They're not afraid to put their bodies on the line. Even though I know a lot of peoples know what they signed up for. You want to call this a dream? You want to call yourself iconic, Liv Morgan? Put your title on the line, honey, and take a bump. Take a bump. Because I can name a couple of peoples in the past that I've watched growing up, because I'm a big wrestling fan. When I think of peoples that's iconic and that were great champions, I think of Chyna. I think of Jacqueline. I think of Jazz. I think of Trish Stratus, Lita. I think of all those wonderful women, Holly Molly, Mickie James. The list goes on. Belle Phoenix. And so on and so on. You got Sensational Sherry. You got all of these wonderful, iconic women that are not afraid to take these bumps. That are not afraid to prove themselves as champion. Now, I know back then a lot of them was not getting paid a lot back in the late 90s and early 2000s, or late 80s, early 90s, early 2000s and stuff like that. Versus now, it's different. But what I'm saying, honestly and truly, you're not iconic if you ain't defend that title even once. Being iconic is not about being a sexy champion. Being iconic is not about how many videos and how many things you can do to get up under people's skin. Being iconic is more than just showing and being a pretty face. Being iconic is about proving yourself to peoples and proving yourself to the world that you are, that you say you are, and actually bagging up your shit and bagging up your claims, like John Cena, The Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Kane. You know, and the list goes on. You know what I'm saying? Let's put it in that aspect. So you want to call yourself iconic? You are not iconic. Give that belt to somebody that's actually deserving of it. I'd rather for Charlotte Flair to have the belt. I want Naomi to come back and get the belt. Because honestly, Naomi never lost the title. It's so many peoples that I would love to see that's very iconic, that's not afraid to defend the title. But you, girl, you is not iconic. So girl, bye. You ain't iconic. And if y'all are Liv Morgan fans, and if y'all are watching this video, I know y'all gonna be mad. I know y'all gonna give me some backlash. I know y'all gonna get mad and try to snap on me, but guess what? You'll be alright. You will be alright. And just know if you try to be disrespectful in my comments, and if you try to be rude about me, be rude about this whole situation because I'm trying to give my opinion, oh, you will be removed and you will be blocked. So let's just put it out there. Because this is my honest opinions and my honest truth. Now, that's that. And that's how I feel about Liv Morgan and the whole title picture. But congratulations to her, though. Let's go on and get over to the next title match. Well, match in general. So come on, y'all. Hey, y'all, I am back. What that is? I'm back, y'all. So I just got done talking about Liv Morgan and EO Sky. I'm just gonna go by and talk about a couple of matches that I've watched. I watched the match between the Bloodline versus Solo Knight and Royce. I don't know too much about that, but I know they won. I've tried getting into the Bloodline storyline, but couldn't do it. But let's go to CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. I watched this whole match. And I will say this match was very entertaining. This match was very well worth watching. Honestly, let me be honest with y'all. I really did not care who won this match. I did not care who won the match between Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. I really did not care. Because honestly, I don't too much care about CM Punk. And honestly, I don't too much care about Cody Rhodes. But at the end of the day, I respect the two. I respect the two. I honestly, think they're great competitors. But I just don't care for them. But I respect them. And it does not mean that I will not watch one of their matches, which I've watched plenty of their matches since their time in the WWE, from the past, present, you know it. But that was a great match. But this is the twist, and this is the shell shocker that I was not expecting. One of my all-time favorite wrestlers returned and attacked Cody Rhodes, costing him the title. Now, a lot of you know, if you are a big wrestling fan, and if you are a person that loves wrestling, if you're a person that has watched wrestling more than I have, now you should know what that move is. That, ladies and gentlemen, that is none other than the RKO. And RKO stands for Randall Keith Orton, who is also one of my favorite wrestlers, Randy Orton. He came when CM Punk was out the ring. Charles Robinson also caught a move by Cody Rhodes, and he also got injured and knocked out the ring, but he came in and finished the refereeing job. CM Punk came in and defeated Cody Rhodes because CM Punk had no idea that Randy Orton had returned to do this move on Cody Rhodes. When I saw this, I'm like, who is this? Because Randy Orton came in so fast and he winked his eye. I thought he was winking at me. But yeah. And I'm like, man, Randy Orton's back. So the title picture is going to be looking very authentic and iconic now. So, yeah. Randy Orton cost Cody Rhodes the title. Am I mad about it? No, I'm not mad. Because I think it's time for Randy Orton to become champion once again. Now, a lot of y'all might not know if y'all have not been watching wrestling for decades like I have. Let's take it back to 2008, 2009. When these two, alongside Ted DiBiase Jr., who is no longer in the WWE because he has been going and dealing with fraudulent things regarding housing and this and that and the third, but that's for another time and story. Those three, alongside Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, they was part of a group called Legacy. Randy Orton was the starter of the group. Cody Rhodes was the second person. Ted DiBiase Jr. was the third. Now their parents and their famous fathers was Cowboy Bob Orton, which was Randy Orton's daddy. Dusty Rhodes, which was Cody Rhodes' daddy, and Goldust, aka Dustin Rhodes, who was also Cody Rhodes' big brother. And you got Ted DiBiase Jr., which was his daddy, was the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. So yeah, that's why they call it legacy. And best believe they tore into everybody, out of anybody, putting them out of action, put them out of action, and everything. This and that and the third. So you know these two, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, has history in between each other. Now, I was not expecting this, but I said, you know what? This is far from over. You can best believe that Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton is going to be putting on some legendary matches. And I feel like one of the two is going to cost one again for getting a title match. Now, Randy Orton was not seen since WrestleMania. So, what's next? You will never know what to expect. So I'm just so excited that Randy Orton's back, and I cannot wait to see what's going to happen next. So CM Punk came out with the victory on top, and he's still the undisputed WWE World Champion. So congratulations to CM Punk, and onto the storyline that's gonna be working. Since we done talking about CM Punk and Cody Rhodes match for the title, and what happened with Randy Orton returning, I hope I'm doing a very good job, y'all, with this review. Please let me know if I'm doing a very good job, because I'm really trying. Let's talk about the next match. Let's talk about Gunther versus Nick Aldis, or whatever the last name is. Let's talk about that match. This is Nick Aldis, I guess Nick Aldis. I can't pronounce his last name, but he was the general manager of SmackDown, and he was part of TNA back in the day. He is a former TNA World Champion, Tag Team Champion, and he is the husband of Mickie James, and they have a child together, and she was also in attendance with his match. Although Nick Aldis did not come out on top and with the victory, that does not take away the fact that Nick Aldis did not put up a good fight, because he did. He still got it, and he did everything that needed to be done. Even though he did not win the match, he proved a lot to everybody last night, and this was one of my favorite matches, and I'm just so happy that he was able to prove to Gunther and prove to the world that, he still got a lot in him. So yeah, so even though Nick Aldis did not win, I know I'm pronouncing his name wrong, even he did not win, I'm just so happy that he was able to prove that he is not a pushover. He still got it, and he's still in the greatest shape ever. Following his defeat by Gunther, he resigned from WWE, as you can see back here in the background, with pictures with Triple H and the interviewer. He resigned from WWE. It's just so sad, just sad. But he did put up a wonderful fight. Who's going to be the general manager next? I really don't know. Since he's resigned from WWE, I really don't know. But I'm hoping in the future that we see more of Nick Aldis. Maybe, he's going to TNA to join Hardcore Country, Mickie James, his wife. Who's to know and who's to tell, So that match was also good. Congratulations to Nick Aldis, even though he did not win. I'm not gonna congratulate Gunther, because I don't like him, because they letting him defeat all these people that think he's damn it untouchable, because he's not. He's touchable. There's somebody that can defeat him. So that's my thought on that match, y'all. That's my thought on that match. So we got two more matches, or maybe one more that we want to talk about. Maybe one more, and then that'll be that. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to DDTS Wrestling series. This is either part 2 or 3, or maybe 4. I don't know which part it is, but hey, we're back. We just got done talking about Gutler versus Nicolallis and how proud I am of him. You know, Nicolallis, he has resigned from the WWE. Wishing him the best future wherever he goes and wherever he lands and which opportunity that is for him. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about these last 2 matches, which is not going to be very long, because I want to go in here and charge my phone, fix me another cup of coffee, and enjoy the rest of my Sunday, if I may. And the other episodes that I have lined up, not wrestling podcasts, but I might do them tomorrow or sometime this week. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this next match. This next match, we're going to talk about the Bellas and Paige versus the Fatal Influencers. And this was a 6-woman tag team match. I don't know much about the Fatal Influence, but I do know about the Bellas, and I do know a little bit about Paige. So this is the next thing. We're going to be talking about the Bellas versus the Influencers, I think. I don't know much about the other team, but I do know much about the Bellas. But let's talk about this right here. The other team came out with the victory in a 6-woman tag team match. The Bellas and Paige did not win. They came up short. But this scene right here will like literally basically have you like, wow, I did not expect this. Although I cannot put the video of what happened next on here because of copyright issues, and I don't want that on my plate, and I don't want to have to deal with that, and I don't want my channel tampered with, because I feel like I work too hard. I feel like my supporters, my subscribers, and my friends, family, the love that I received from everybody, they helped me get to where I am, today. Hold on, y'all. Hold on 1 second. So yeah, y'all, I done lost my train of thought, but yeah. But basically, let me show you what happened after this right here. So Brie Bella was injured at SummerSlam 2006 during the match. As you can see that she is holding her arm. She was injured. Now this picture right here, this was after what happened to Paige and what the Bellas did to Paige. So truthfully and allegedly, the Bellas turned heel and dirty once again and attacked Paige because they feel like Paige allegedly is the cause of them losing the tag team championships, in my opinion, and the cause of them losing the match last night at SummerSlam Part 1. Now, let's go ahead and let's talk about the Bella Twins. If you have been watching for a very long time, Red WWE and all that, this isn't the first time that the Bellas went dirty. This isn't the first time that the Bellas has turned against the WWE Universe. Let's take it back to 2011 when Daniel Bryan was a upcoming superstar. When he was allegedly in a storyline with Gail Kim, in a storyline with the Bella Twins, because it seems like to me at that time that Daniel Bryan, he came from NXT, he betrayed the Nexus, turned on the Nexus, and turned into one of the most greatest and world going superstars that it was. So at that time and in that storyline, Daniel Bryan was dating Gail Kim. So honestly and truthfully, I think the Bella Twins got mad at that and basically started attacking Gail Kim which resulted in them turning heel. I might have it wrong, but that's what I remember because I was watching it at that time. And by the way, at that time I was like 15 going on 16. Now I'm 31 years old, and I think my memory serves me good and correctly, and that I have a great memory, even though some of the things that I can't remember, but I do remember that. Now, resulting that with the Bella Twins becoming heel, the Bella Twins, they captured the Divas Championship, and then with the return of they captured the Divas Championship. Kelly at that time, who was with the company, who was also one of my favorites, she defeated one of the Bella Twins that I think it was Brie Bella, which she defeated. And they also was in a storyline with Kelly. They was in a storyline with Eve. They was in a storyline with Layla. And it was at one point of time back in 2014 when Nikki Bella turned against her own sister, which resulted into her being a heel, and which resulted in her becoming the Divas champion for a great amount of time before getting defeated by Charlotte Flair. But that is, history beyond the belt. But let's get back to this one. So, in my opinion, that's how I see it. This isn't the first time that the Bella Twins have turned dirty. This isn't the first time that I've seen this, and I'm pretty sure if you have watched this a great amount of time, this isn't the first time that a lot of you have not seen this. What does this mean for Paige? What does this mean for the Bella Twins? What does this mean for the up and coming storylines? And what does this mean for WWE Raw, SmackDown, or whatever? What's next? I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. And the thing is, I kind of figured and I kind of knew that something was going to happen when they put the cameras back on them. So, yeah. What can we least expect? What caused this turn on Paige that the Bella Twins did? What caused this? What do you think is the reason for this? And honestly, I don't know. I'm glad to see Paige back in the WWE, but I can honestly say within the future, will AJ Lee be returning? Or who you think will return? You think Paige is going to get some help back? What do you guys think? Could we see a PCB reunion? Like, what do you guys think? And what do you guys can expect? I'm going to leave that up to y'all. So let's go ahead and get on to the last part, and that will conclude this talking about this match. Talk about whirlwind, talk about surprises, it's talking about twists and turns. So let's go ahead and get into the last match, and this is the last part, and that will be the end of this wonderful wrestling podcast. Stay tuned. Okay, y'all. Hey, welcome back. This is the last part of DDTS Wrestling Series episode 7. I think. So, yeah. So, this is SummerSlam Night 1 in a nutshell. That is the title. This is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Brock Lesnar versus Obi Femi. I didn't watch. Listen, let me tell y'all something. I did not watch the match. I did not watch this match. I cut the match off. When it was getting to this match, the Hell in the Cell, I cut it off because I honestly did not want to see this match. Because honestly, I too much don't care about Brock Lesnar, but I respect him as a competitor. I don't know much about Obi Femi, but what I will say that he is a extraordinary performer. They really brought it out of each other at the Hell in the Cell match last night. Obi Femi defeated Brock Lesnar. And this right here, this picture basically explains everything that needed to be explained. So Brock Lesnar got on the microphone and acknowledged Obi Femi, and he basically and allegedly passed the torch down to Obi Femi, saying that he is the next big thing and that he, is the best big thing and he is the future and everything. Because honestly, I've watched some of the matches, and Obi Femi, he has everything that there is to become the next big thing. And I will say this: anytime when Brock Lesnar gives you a speech, and anytime he gives you a hug, and anytime he acknowledges you, you pretty much got everything, and you pretty much have what it takes to become the future of the WWE or whatever company or whatever, career that you are, majoring in. Brock Lesnar began his career in 2001 in OVW. Then he moved to the WWE in 2002, and he left the WWE in 2004, and he returned in 2012. And ever since then, he's been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and he ended the WrestleMania streak of The Undertaker, and he has won multiple world championships, defeating um, The Rock, The Undertaker. He has defeated Goldberg, Hardcore Holly, and he has had so many wonderful matches and versus the Big Show and so many more. And he's been in some of the most, wildest storylines as well. So I want to say congratulations to Obi Femi and congratulations to Brock Lesnar, because I think this is Brock Lesnar's retirement match that we are seeing in this picture. I think he's done. And then somebody's saying, oh, he's going to be in the Royal Rumble in 2027 and he's going to return, da 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 da. But you know how that goes. So yeah. So what do you guys think of this whole scenario? Honestly, I see a future with Obi Femi. I see him winning world championships. I see him being the future of the WWE, being the face of the WWE and everything like that. So yeah. So this is gonna be my video. This is gonna be my wrestling podcast, DDTS Wrestling Series, episode 7, SummerSlam Night 1 review. If I can, I'm gonna do a night 2 of SummerSlam review as well. Hopefully I can, but I'm gonna do my best. But thank y'all for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And for the wrestling fans out there, let me know what you guys think. And if you're not a wrestling fan, if you stayed to the end of this video, I greatly appreciate it. And I want to say thank you. Happy Sunday. See you next time. Love y'all. Bye-bye.